Let's kick off. Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining today. I'm really excited. We are launching a awesome new tool, and so looking forward to showing you that today. So before we jump in, I'll just give you a little bit of an introduction of who we've got here. So I'm Amy. So I'm a product marketing manager at A2X. And we've also got Nori Sheng, who is the product manager at A2X. He specifically focuses on Amazon and NetSuite. So we'll hear from Nori in a little bit. So what we're going to cover today, so I'm going to start by giving you just a little bit of an overview of A2X for Amazon, so the product as it is at the moment. And then we'll talk about some of the challenges that still exist when reconciling Amazon. And then from there, we'll talk about kind of where the tool has come from and what it does, the new Amazon summary report. And Nori is going to give you a demo of the report. And then at the end, we can have some Q&A. So I think we've got an hour booked out for this session. So it might not go for that long. I'm sure that the majority of you are here to see the demo. So we'll whip through the first half and then get into showing you the report. So a little bit about A2X. So A2X is an e-commerce accounting app. We support businesses, e-commerce businesses, accountants and their bookkeepers to automatically reconcile their payouts from their e-commerce channels. So we connect with a bunch of different channels. We connect with Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, Walmart and BigCommerce on the sales side. And then on the accounting platform side, we connect with QuickBooks Online, Xero, Sage, and NetSuite. So the whole reason that A2X exists is that accounting for Amazon is really challenging. So why is it challenging? There's a whole bunch of reasons. So number one is the settlement timing. So Amazon sellers, or most Amazon sellers, will get paid every 2 weeks. Now, this can create some accounting challenges because very often it will cover a 2-month period. So if you got paid in the first week of February, for example, it's highly likely that it will include transactions for January. So to do proper accrual accounting, you need to be splitting those out into the period that they occurred. It can also cover end of financial year if you're getting paid kind of across 2 months. So that causes a lot of challenges for sellers. The other thing to keep in mind is that there's a range of different transaction types in your payout that you receive from Amazon. So a lot of sellers make the mistake that it's just sales that they've received, but I think there's over 400 different transactions that could be included within that settlement that need to be correctly accounted for. So these are things like sales, of course, but then there's also shipping, there's fees, there's refunds, there might be some tax. There's all sorts of things that need to be correctly accounted for, and this can impact the profitability of your business. And then finally, a major reason as to why accounting for Amazon specifically is really complicated is tax. So a lot of sellers might be using or might have the benefit of the marketplace facilitator tax, which is when Amazon collects and remits your tax on your behalf. But that in all countries, and I don't even think it's in all states within the US. So it is still your responsibility to track your tax and make sure you are accounting for what tax is being collected and what tax is being paid. So that is the whole reason why A2X exists. So A2X for Amazon, our integration with Amazon solves all of these problems for you. So I'll give you a little bit of a run through of what that looks like. So when you're setting up A2X, you connect your sales channel. So in this case, you'd connect to your Amazon. A2X pulls in all of that raw data from Seller Central. So all of the raw transactions, your sales, all of the data that goes along with that. A2X then categorizes this. So a key difference with A2X is that it doesn't just take the data from Amazon and pop it in your accounting software. It actually organizes it into a really nice, tidy summary. So if you're doing 500 or 50,000 sales, those all get categorized into one sales line. And so it's really nicely organized and categorized so that you can send that data through to your accounting software and it's not going to swamp or overload your ledger. The other thing to keep in mind is that we'll break it down into the correct time period. So the example that I gave before where you were paid over 2 months, A2X will create 2 entries for you. So one for the previous month and one for the following month so that your transactions are accounted for in the period that they occurred. And then finally, the benefit with A2X is that it's always going to match the payout in your bank account. So as a Amazon seller, if you're using Xero or QuickBooks, you'll receive that settlement in your bank account. And then the entry that A2X sends over is going to match perfectly. So you can reconcile that payout, and then all of the individual transaction types will be posted to your ledger account. So it just makes reconciling your Amazon really nice and tidy, accurate and straightforward. You can then use that information that A2X has sent over to run the financial statements that you need. So we've got an example of a profit and loss here. You can see this is actually a multi-channel seller, and not only is the data accurate, but it's really nice and tidy. So you can see the different accounts that are there, and A2X can set up the necessary chart of accounts for you if you need that. So that all sounds really great, but there are still challenges with Amazon, and particularly when you're tying back to Amazon. So this is a question that we get all the time. So I've got this data in A2X, I've got this data, it's then posted through to my accounting software, but how do I know that that is tying back or that is accurately taken from Amazon? So that is the whole reason today. So I'll hand over to Nori to talk you through.
Cool, thanks, Amy. Thanks everyone for joining. Yeah, so as Amy mentioned, this is sort of what a settlement in A2X looks like. As you can see, all the transactions are summarized, and this is for a particular payout, which is often a 14-day period. And in this example, spans a month end, so that's sits in two months. However, if we go to a report from Amazon to show contrast here, this is a date range summary report from Seller Central, and you'll notice this is for a month period. And the categories are entirely different. So this is these are sort of the core two challenges that you'll face trying to reconcile these pieces of data. Is you've got timing differences and you've got categorization differences, and that can make obviously comparing your different systems, whether it's your accounting system, A2X, or Amazon, or all three, ideally, be a little bit tricky. So that, in a nutshell, is why we've built this tool, which I'm excited to walk you through today. So with, yeah, I guess I'll give you a couple headliners. So the key reasons that we've built this report are to allow you to confirm that the data from Amazon has been successfully received and correctly processed within A2X, and then compare that data across your various systems, your accounting system, A2X, and Amazon, and then basically supports and simplifies reconciliation across those three systems. So with that, I will share my screen here. Okay, so first I'll show you how to actually get access to this feature. So as Amy mentioned, this has been released into beta. So for those of you who are familiar with our beta features page, you can get to it by clicking on settings, going down to beta features, and you will land on a page that looks like this. So if you are in an Amazon account within A2X, you will see this Amazon summary report feature listed here. And then you can just go ahead and join the beta. Woohoo, very exciting. And once you've done that, you will see that you now have a reports tab available in your top navigation. And if you navigate to that tab, you'll see a page that looks like this. We've highlighted that reports are available after January 1st of this year by default. Data from settlements prior to that date are also available, but they may need to be refreshed in order for the data to become available within this report. And so from here, we can go ahead and select a date range. I'm going to do December of last year, which has already been refreshed for this account. I'm going to select Amazon.com. So you can select any of the marketplaces that you have within this region for your account. And then you can go ahead and create the report. And you'll see that loads something that you may recognize as looking similar to the report that we just looked at coming out of Seller Central. So we've got the marketplace, the currency, the time and date stamps and time zones, and then a summary of income, expenses, and taxes, as well as all the subcategories and their subtotals. So that's what the report looks like. And then if we were to compare this, as an example to an equivalent Seller Central report, we can maybe flip back and forth between these tabs, or you can believe me, but we've got 8,811 in our income, $637 in our expenses and $0 in our taxes here. We're not going to go line by line, but you can take my word for it or watch this recording back later. They do in fact match. So that's how we generate the report, and that's how you can compare it back to the report coming out of Solar Central. Now, if you're not familiar with how to access that report in Solar Central, I will show you how. There are lots of different reports that are available within Solar Central. There's a payments dashboard which generates a sort of a settlement statement for each settlement. There are sales reports and dashboards, lots of different reports, dashboards, and I guess tables and many sources of data within Amazon. And they all use slightly different criteria for how those reports are generated. They have different dates. They include certain types of orders and not other types of orders, and depends on the status of the order. Point being, they all offer a slightly different lens on Amazon's data. And so finding the right set of data to correlate back to A2X is critical. And so that's why we use the date range summary report from Amazon. This report is based off of transactional data from Amazon and the transactions that are included in the payouts that you receive on typically a biweekly basis. So that's why this report will tie out with the data that comes from A2X. And I'll show you how to get to that. So if you're logged into Solar Central, you go to payments and the payments repository, you will land on a page that looks like this. And there you can select an account type. This account is a bit of a demo account, so it only has standard orders, but you'll have standard orders, invoiced orders, or all. A2X pulls in all settlements that it has available to it within Solar Central. So in most cases, it would likely make sense to select all, and then you would select summary as your report type, and then select a date range or pick a particular month, for example, December of 2023, like we did for that other report. And then you would request a report, it would generate, and then once it's done processing, you'd be able to download that report. And it would look something like this. And then you can take this report and you can compare it to the one that you get out of A2X, and then try to tie that all back to your accounting system. And if you use the standard chart of accounts and mappings from A2X, all three of them should match. And we can talk a little bit later, if needed, about the discrepancies and how to investigate those. But in a nutshell, that is the feature and how it works.
Awesome. Okay, so to be honest, that's a big portion of what we were wanting to cover today. I've just got a couple of reminders that I'll add, and then we can jump to questions. So if you do have questions, pop those in the chat and we can answer those in a moment. I have just got a reminder here of how you access that feature. So it's available on all Amazon accounts. And to access that, you can go into the settings and then the beta features, and you'll be able to turn that on, and then you'll be able to review the report. I have just put a note here. So this feature is in beta, so it is available on every account, but in the future, there might be some restrictions on plans. So I guess in a nutshell, at the moment, it's available on every account. So it's available on Mini all the way up to our premium accounts, but we did just want to keep in mind that this is a beta, and so in the future, that may change. And then I've also just got a note here. We've got an exciting update coming in the Shopify space as well. So next week, we are doing a webinar launching a tool for Shopify as well. So it's called the Shopify Reconciliation Report. So if you are also selling on Shopify and you're interested in finding out about that, jump onto our socials today or this afternoon, and you should be able to sign up for those. Otherwise, look out for the communication that comes out from us. You should be able to register for that event, or feel free to reach out to me. I'm only happy to send through that registration link for you. And then the other page that I just had here was our What's New section. So obviously this is a major release that we're doing, but we're releasing features and updates and things all the time. So keep an eye on the What's New update for any changes or releases that A2X is putting out, and you can keep an eye on those there. Awesome. Okay, thanks very much for joining everyone. I can see we've got a bunch of questions coming through, which is exciting. So we'll jump straight into those. So I can read them out and then I'll get Nori to jump in and help. So the first one we've got is, I'm new to A2X. Does this information also apply to Shopify, or is this report only available for Amazon? So that's a great question, considering that we have a Shopify announcement next week. But we do actually have a very similar report for Shopify at the moment. It's called the Shopify Finance Summary, and you should be able to access that on your account. If you're in a Shopify account, under the Reports tab, you'll be able to see Shopify Finance Summary. It does a comparison of similar to the Amazon report, of your Shopify data and your A2X data. But like I say, watch the space. There's more coming for Shopify reconciliation next week. So the next one is, so the Amazon Shopify summary report will tie back to Amazon's report, but won't necessarily tie to QuickBooks Online yet because the settlement transactions haven't come in, correct? If we have a client that needs their financial statements before the settlement comes in, do you suggest creating a journal entry to record the differences between the summary report and QuickBooks?
A great question. So it's actually the other way around. So the summary report in A2X is based on the settlement report transactions that we have received into A2X. So if the settlement report has not yet been generated, then that data will not be included in the summary report. In theory, yes, you could generate the settlement report, the summary report in A2X and compare that to the summary report in Amazon and book a difference between the two reports to QuickBooks. In the meantime, that is a strategy we have seen some of our customers use. That being said, this is an area that we're actively interested in, and it's good feedback. I would be happy to chat more if you'd like. You can reach out to me directly, Nori at A2Xaccounting.com. I'd be happy to discuss that area more.
Awesome. Okay, so the next question is probably quite a good one as well. So if we find a discrepancy, then what? Do we contact A2X support?
Maybe. But before I send you all running to our support team, so a few things. So if you see the discrepancy between A2X and Amazon, that could be for a few reasons. So sometimes if we have settlements which need to be unarchived inside Seller Central, we have an article about it, but you may need to click request report next to certain settlements within Amazon. Sometimes we find that the ones that get missed are invoiced orders, because that drop down I showed you earlier, that standard orders versus invoiced orders, sometimes all the standard orders settlements will have been unarchived, but the invoice orders may be missing. So sometimes we'll be missing entire settlements. So that does happen from time to time. So that's one good thing to check. But if you've looked through and the list of settlements in Seller Central matches the list of settlements that you see within A2X, and there's still a discrepancy, then it's possible that there's a categorization that needs to be addressed, and we would appreciate any feedback that you do see in terms of discrepancies, certainly during this beta period. But that would be, I think, mostly how to address the discrepancies on the A2X Amazon side, and then from A2X to your accounting system, if you see discrepancies there, one note I'll make is that the summary report in its current state includes all settlement report data in A2X, regardless of whether it has been posted to your accounting system. So it would be best to make sure that all the settlements from the period that you're looking at in your report have been posted, in fact, to your accounting system, and that your mappings all make sense. And if you do see large discrepancies in terms of categorization, that may be a reason to look at your mappings and make sure everything makes sense. And then again, if you're still at that point and things you still do see a discrepancy, then yeah, I would encourage you to reach out to our team.
Awesome. So I guess in summary, make sure we've got all the data from Amazon and nothing's been archived. Make sure you posted everything to your accounting system. And if beyond that, then definitely reach out to us.
Good nutshell. Could have just said that.
No. I think they needed the detail that you provided. That was great, Rory. Awesome. So the next question is, how can I make sure the A2X summary report includes all of the transactions from Amazon and not missing anything? So far, it looks like the report is a copy from Amazon.
Yeah, so this is similar to my comment I think I made earlier, which is that our summary report is based on the settlement report data that we have received in from Amazon. So the fact that it's possible for our report to look different from Amazon's, I think hopefully answers this question to some degree, right? If you are missing some data from Amazon, you will see that as a discrepancy between the two reports. There shouldn't be a situation where our report exactly matches Amazon's, but the data is not in A2X. That just isn't how the feature is built. It's based off the data that we have in A2X. And the same data that we use to post to your accounting system.
Definitely. So yeah, I guess so. It's still checking the A2X data. We're just making it in a format that's easy to compare to Amazon. Brilliant. Okay, and so the next question we have is, can we join the beta in our agency, or do we have to have it on? Like, do we have to enable it for each of the clients?
So if you've got a large number of clients, I think there are things we can do potentially. A short answer is that each of your clients would need to be enabled one by one. There's unfortunately not really a way for you to do it across all of your accounts. If you've got like a huge long list of accounts and this is a huge daunting task, though, I would encourage you to reach out and let us know, because that's we'll see what we can do to help you out. But it'd be good to understand how many accounts you're looking to turn this beta on for anyway.
Awesome. Okay, well, I believe that is all of the questions that we've had come in. I'll just give people a few more moments to type any last minute questions that they might have.
Look, it's the team.
We have the whole A2X team joining in. I love it.
Great job, guys.
Awesome. Wow, we're really excited about this tool. As you can see, everyone's excited and watching the release. So jump in and turn on the report and have a play. And yeah, let us know what you think. Certainly let us know if you notice any discrepancies, but we're also keen to hear how you're using the report and yeah, any feedback that you have. And if you're selling on Shopify, make sure, we have clients selling on Shopify, make sure you tune in for our webinar next week to hear about what we're doing in that space too. So brilliant. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.